Aloha my kako and welcome back to another book review. I am Mama Kitty and today we're going to be reviewing another late arc called For the Record by Emma Lord. For those of you who are new here, if you're unfamiliar with what an arc is, it is an advanced reader copy that one receives in exchange for a honest review. So let's dive right in. The Goodreads synopsis is as follows. Once the most notorious rivals in the music scene, pop princess Mackenzie Waters and pop rock star Sam Blaze electrified audiences as their bands clashed on stage. But behind the scenes, their simmering tension grew into something more. Until suddenly, both pans fell apart, and the idea of Mackenzie and Sam did too. 2 years later, Sam has traded the rock star lifestyle for a quiet life raising the son he didn't know about. Meanwhile, Mackenzie is dealing with a post operative change in her voice by only singing under a pseudonym. The only way to revive their public careers? A joint comeback album. With fans over the moon and their futures on the line, Sam and Mackenzie face their biggest challenge yet, giving up the old rivalry and learning to work together. But as old sparks fly and new secrets emerge, they set off a chain reaction neither of them could have anticipated, one that proves that sometimes the greatest hits are the ones yet to be written. So to start, I do feel like I need to say that this is the romance of the ages. I was really stoked by how it kind of ended up turning out, and I was really thankful that I was able to read it. Mackenzie, our leading lady, is kind of great. She had a lot of spunk, and I loved her vulnerability, and she was just a really wonderful character to read. She did have her fair share of issues, right? Because as every heroine does, but she really didn't take time most of the time. She was able to sort of work through it in a timely manner. Um, I liked that she was really playful and how it was really clear that while even though she was going through all these issues, that she really cared for and tried really hard to show up for her friends and her loved ones. And I just really appreciate that about her. And I liked how she had to push through that fear of loving again, right? Because and that's her whole shtick, right? Is that she dated a whole bunch of buttheads back when they were in the band, and she got her heart broken a lot, and and then she had to work through that. And I was really glad that she did, and it was fun and beautiful watching her do so. Sam was also a really great character. I did really enjoy his spunk, I guess, not to use the same word. His drive, no, his whatever the hot guy version of spunk is, if that makes sense. But anyway, I really liked him. I really, not to sound like a broken record, because I know I've said it before, but again, I'll say it again. I really, 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 really like it when the male love interest is obsessed with the heroine, because it's just makes for the best romances. The yearning that he showed for Mackenzie on top of the um caution that he showed her um while being absolutely head over heels was really just fun to watch. And it was nice that he was aware, right, like acutely aware of Mackenzie's love issues and never pushed her to accept his feelings. And I really really appreciated about that about him, right? Because sometimes in romance, depending on the genre of romance, I guess, men can be a little bit on the push side. And I guess it just shows you what kind of romance novels I'm reading, but it was just really nice that he didn't push her beyond what she was ready for at that time. And I don't know, men written by women are just on a completely different level. I don't know what to tell you. The background cast was also really, really well written, in my opinion. They all had really, at least the main background cast, all had really deep and connected relationships with the main characters, right? I mean, even Sam's, I guess, baby mama is kind of what she is. Um, we didn't get a lot of her, right? But what we did get was enough for us to care about her and to care about her son and to care about the relationship that she and Sam now has as co-parents. And that just reflected even more in the background characters that we saw more of, like Hannah and Serena. And to bring up Serena, actually, I think she was probably my favorite background character in the entire novel, which is funny because I didn't actually like her all that much. um, but once we sort of got to see what she was doing and what she was going through, I 100% respected the hustle. She was doing what she had to do, and you know, she may not have been going about it in the most healthy way, but you know, sometimes you have to go through those periods before you can, you know, get over the hump. The pacing of the novel was great. We had some POV switches, right? But it wasn't every single chapter, which I liked. You know, and if you've watched some of my other romance videos, you know, I do really appreciate it when it's just kind of like girl, 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 boy, girl, girl, boy, boy, girl, boy, girl, girl, boy, what girl, boy, 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 girl, 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 or whatever, right? It just, it's very not, it's a little funny because it's not changing POVs necessarily for the sake of the POV switches that sometimes you see in other kind of romances, right? Where it's every other chapter. It's really just POV switches to keep the story moving forward, and I respect that. And again, I really liked it, and I like how it makes the story continue to flow. Right? There's no unnecessary slow spots because the author Emma Lord is not afraid to switch POVs as she needs to. The pacing of the love story, not just the story, was also really, really good. I really enjoyed the tension, the awkwardness, the terror from both of them, right? And it was all just, you know, and it really kept me sort of invested in not just the story, but also in their relationship. And I know saying that out loud, now that I said it out loud, it's like, well, duh, that's what romance does, but not all romances achieve that. Okay, sometimes it's just we want we want the relationship, f the plot, and sometimes it's f the a relationship, we only want the plot. It really, not everybody can, you know what I mean? So I just appreciated that Lord was able to pull together two uh storylines and perfectly meld them into one so that we can get the best of both worlds. This is going to be a little bit spoilery. So I'll put over here somewhere where to skip to if you don't want to hear this part. But I was really glad that even though there were ups and downs, Mackenzie and Sam don't have that typical temporary breakup moment, right? There is this little bit of uncertainty that happens around one of the performances towards the end of the novel, but they never actually break up, right? It's not a breakup. It's a, I just can't be there. I'll see you after. I still love you. This doesn't change how I feel about you. But I can't do it. And I think that that's like the communication, it was just so top tier between these two very traumatized people who are working through all of these things by themselves or trying to, right? And then finding that support in each other and no matter what, not being able to let it go, right? And it was just, I really appreciated the departure from what I'm used to. The all is lost stage, for those of you who are familiar with that term. Overall, I really freaking liked it. It was fun and it was tense and it was imaginative, and I thought that the friendships were beautiful. I thought the relationship was beautiful. So unabashedly, I give it a very solid 5 out of 5 stars. It really was everything I was kind of expecting and more. I did find myself often like giggling and kicking my feet and like and there was no point of frustration where I had to almost threw my iPad across the room, so I'll take that as a good sign. I just, anybody who's a fan of romance, I think will like this novel. And so that's who I would recommend it to. The next book we're going to be reading is another arc from NetGalley that I am behind on, called The Battle of the Bookshops by Poppy Alexander. I am actually in the process of reading it now. I'm enjoying it so far. It's giving Romeo and Juliet. And so make sure that you're following the channel and that you have those notifications on so that you can be the first one here when that video goes live, hopefully within the next couple of weeks. Follow me on other socials if you want to see some of my other content. But otherwise, I will see you all on the next one. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.